4.
Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
And hello, I'm Michael.
I'm John.
Hey, and I'm Andrew. And this week, welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast. Just a little episode just a little podcast where we like to talk about toy lines that basically made up our childhood. This week, we go history lesson. We're going to rewind back to 1971 and learn about some preschool toys. Preschool toys. We had some of these. We're going to learn about a Hasbro. Hasbro did preschool toys. These are the Weebles. Just the small little toy line that taught us that Weebles wobble, but they don't
Fall down.
There we go. Everybody knows that. John last week didn't even know what Weebles were, but he had heard that. I know you've heard that, John.
Yeah, I've heard that. Guess I really didn't know that those little egg shapes had a name.
Yeah,
or paid attention to them.
They are. I don't know. I feel like every preschooler had them. They had to have, right? Our preschooler has them. They're still huge. So,
and looking at the prices and stuff, I mean, they were very affordable and everything. I think so.
Exactly why they're at every preschool. They're in most houses. They're there. They're cheap. And they don't fall down. They're really kind of hard to break too.
I was going to say how they're not very destructible.
So they're perfect. So, but before we get into talking about the toy line, let's John, do your thing.
All right, so check our websites out over at toyrewindpodcast.com, or you can check us out over at crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you go over to Cross the Streams Media, you can actually go on there and leave us a voicemail and let us know how we're doing or not doing, or if you tell us how we're not doing good, we'll probably just delete it and not even worry about it. But we can play them on here. Andrew has access to doing all that, so that way you can hear your voice on one of our podcasts if you want to. Email us over at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. You can look us up on Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It's all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. Make sure you put podcast or you won't get us. We stream some of our toy box showcases as we do them when we have time to do them. We're all busy people, now that everything's going hard again and busy.
So busy.
Yeah, but we do them on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And then, of course, you can play our podcast bingo over at podcastbingo.com/toy rewind. And I was just looking at that, Andrew. I think we need to update some
we do. I think everybody needs a little bit of update, which is something that I'm working on. So
yeah, because I think the no nickname John kind of went away.
It's still your nickname in our chat. So not that anybody else sees the chat, but it's still your nickname there. That's got some work. That's going to come down to that. I think everybody's going to get some update. We're going to be able to. I want to be able to share your bingo cards like your Wordle. Like your Wordle scores.
Yeah. See, I don't see my name in our chat, so
you don't see your name. I see my name.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Michael, do you see your name, Michael? Oh, I guess I don't see my name. Maybe you don't see your name. I just assumed I saw my name, but I guess I'm the only green one, so that's why it pops up. That I don't know. Excuse me. We also have our toy reviews that we're doing on the website. Also, there's going to be
me and Michael need to write ours.
Yeah, there's going to be a new one coming up this week. I picked up the new Playmates Turtles figures from Walmart the other day, and I opened my Leonardo one, and there's going to be, I think I mentioned this last week, there's going to be reviews between the new ones to the old ones, which these are the 2013 molds that they're bringing out. And a spoiler alert on this, I'm very disappointed in these. So You're going to hear that. I took good photos and everything. We're going to show. I'm just going to show the differences between them. The original 1988 Leonardo and the 2000. I guess you can say 2013 mold, but the ones that just released, just like within this month. So look forward to that. Look, see that's going to drop this week at some point. The other one about the party wagon is there. I'd like to get my hands on one of the new party wagons, check it out, but you know, those things went fast, and so trying to get a new one now. Michael, you're still muted in case you start talking.
Was that like the Super 7 one, or is that Super 7 or the?
Well, they came out with a Playmates one too.
Oh, the Playmates had one.
Yeah, they did come out with Play. That was more cost affordable, whereas I think the Super 7 was like $400.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can swing that and remain married. So I think I'll just not do that one. So all right. What's going on with you guys? Anything new?
No, not really.
Right. I finally watched Boba, by the way.
Did you get all the way through?
So I'm almost halfway through the last one. Still got a little bit to finish on it.
How do you not finish the episode?
I got a message. I got a message from John of the Weebles and was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot we're recording at 8." So I was laying on the couch watching it because my back hurts and forgot we were recording. That's why I was late. So I'm like almost halfway through. I'll wrap it up tonight after we finish this. And I will say at this point,
got better, didn't it?
It got better. I'm still
last two
disappointed.
episodes are the best.
Mando showed up and saved the day.
I mean, yes, but I'm still disappointed in the show. Like, I wish it was. I don't know. I was hoping the Boba story would be better.
Right.
Well, I like the back. To me, the backstory with the sand people. I thought that was interesting, and they should have kind of stuck with that. But they kept flashing back and forth between that and him just strolling down Tatooine. Was it most
Espa?
Espa, yeah.
Yeah.
Strolling down the streets of that, kind of holding his helmet and waving at people like, "Hey," and I'm all this. I don't want to see that. I want to see some action.
I want to say the first 3 episodes could have been one 30-minute episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Like,
I think they could have put all of them into just 1 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get that they want to show the whole how he survived, his helping the Tusken Raiders, all that stuff. I get that's in there, but they dragged that out.
Right.
Yeah, see, that could have been just to me if they would have stuck with that. Just that backstory the whole time, I think they could have had a good story, but they didn't. It was just the going back and forth was kind of rough, and then Mando showed up with his dark saber and saved the day.
And he can't wield the dark saber, or at least I haven't seen him wield it yet, proficiently. And I was like, all right, I don't know where they're going with this. And then Grogu gets to make his decision, and he shows up in the X-Wing that is apparently flown by R2.
Yeah, R2 drives it.
Because, I mean,
he
Grogu, he can't
anything.
find it. He just wants to play with the gear shift bobble thing anyways. That's all he wants. So I wanted... So every time they were showing his little armor, I was like, what is this? Mithril from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings.
For a toddler?
Little shirt, yeah.
And, when he's doing his training with Luke, I honestly wanted to be like, hey, Luke, if you gave him something to wear that wasn't this jacket that's so freaking long, if we could see his legs, maybe he could stand on them. I mean, maybe his jacket's tripping him up. I don't know. All that to say, really, I'm just kind of disappointed. I was hoping it would be a lot better. Hopefully it has gotten better towards the end, but the whole show altogether is not going to be up there with my favorite. Like, Mando's still way up here. And then, hopefully the Ashoka show is better. I think they did a great job on
I'm looking for Obi-Wan. Cad Bane was awesome.
Yeah, Cad Bane. I think they did a great job on him.
He looked just like the Clone Wars.
So I had forgotten he was in it
Mm-hmm.
completely until he showed up in, like, he's walking towards the town, Freetown or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh yeah, Cad Bane's in this, and like I'd completely forgot. So
yeah, so they need the. I've seen some of the pirates from Clone Wars, but what's the main pirate's name? My mind just went blank on him. But he needs to show up in a live action one. Yeah. Maybe in Ahsoka. Maybe he'll show up in Ahsoka.
Yeah, so I'm hoping the Ashoka and Obi-Wan, almost those are better. They have to be better than this. This had a bad start and got a bad taste in my mouth. And then, like I said,
Hondo.
It might as well, and then those 2 episodes might as well be Mando, part 2.5. So
that's what everyone says. Mm-hmm. Mando just took over.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about toy lines. So, Michael, you ready to Weeble?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wobble.
All right.
Not fall down. All right, so 1971. We went all the way back to 1971. These are put out by Romper Room Play School Hasbro. So it is part of the Play School line, which is owned by Hasbro. So Weebles were introduced to the toy world in 1979. These are for ages 2 through 6, is what the majority of the boxes say. So they are for like preschool kids. They were created by Ned Strongen. How do you say his name? These guys got weird names. These were supposed to be like a miniature version of the Romper Room's clown bop bag. So if you know the little bopping bag, you punch, and it falls over and it comes right back up, and so that's what these were, scaled down versions of that. Let's see, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
No, hold on, Michael. You said 1979. I thought we were.
He said 71.
Okay, I heard 79. I was like, wait.
No, it meant 71.
Okay.
If I said 79, I meant 1971. Sorry.
I heard 71 because I was going to make the joke that these are actually another toy line that's older than Michael.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so see these wobble, but they don't fall down because of fancy science mumbo jumbo. That means because they are egg shaped and a weight is at the bottom of the egg, it just stands back up when you push it over. So that's the easy way to describe these things. The first Weebles were basically, like I said, egg shaped plastic with the image kind of a shrink wrapped around the outside of it. Like. You get these Easter eggs and it has the little plastic thing around the side, around the edges of it, or around the middle part, or whatever. It's kind of what these were. The image was kind of shrink wrapped on there. They had those for the first year and a half, 2 years. I didn't see where exactly the new version of them came out, but the newer ones they were a clear egg shape on the top part where the decal, the image was on the inside of it. So the problem they had from the original ones was the plastic peelable part would just peel. They would peel off once you played with it so much. And it just left a white egg shaped thing that wouldn't fall over. So Hasbro went back and made like a clear see-through egg thing, and then put the image on the inside of the clear, and the top was about the color of the hair of the figure, and then the bottom was where it had the weight at the bottom of it. So where I'm at on my notes, Hasbro, like I said, Hasbro fixed that. So there was another line that they brought out in 1977. It was called the Tumbling Weeble. These had a weight on the top and bottom that carries momentum when pushed over. It just kept flopping over with the weight, would just carry itself over and over and over, and it was just kind of tumble. These were between 1977 and 78, and there was 12 of those that were made overall. So during the first iteration of the Weebles, which was from 1971 to 1984, there were 116 of these things produced. And Hasbro later brought them out in the early 2000s. I think there was some others throughout the 90s as well. But what we're talking about is the first release of these. So most of these were sold in packs of 2. There was a couple that was sold in a 4-pack. So 1972 saw the introduction of the play sets for these Weebles, with the first being the car and camper set. Hasbro also released some holiday sets. There was a Christmas one with a Santa and Rudolph Weeble. Then an Easter set had an Easter bunny and a little chicken set. They had others. They eventually, the mid 70s, they started getting into other big names like Sesame Street. They had Flintstones. Disney had a bunch of them. There was a Tarzan with his chimp, and then excuse me. Then there was also a Sears exclusive set with Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and Christopher Robin. So some of these, if you look at them, they have 3, like that one, the Sears exclusive. There's 3 different ones, but you only buy them in packs of 2, so you're going to have get an extra one of them to get all 3 of them. There was one that was a rare set called Super Weeble. This came out with a bad guy named Mr. Trouble and the good guy called Super Weeble / Walter. So this was a pretty cool piece because the back of him was kind of whited out, so you couldn't see the image on the back side of the Weeble, but you can actually turn it, and on the front would have a normal guy. He was like an ice cream guy or a waiter. I think his official name was Waiter Walter.
Such a great name.
Yeah, and then you would turn it, and the image would change, and it would be like a superhero on the other side. So you could change. That's the only one that they had put out that you can change the image on. This one was more limited because it was closer to the end of the line later in the release in the early 80s.
So I got a photo of this if you're watching our
there you go
live stream. So I got a photo of it.
Yeah, this one came out in 1977 is what he came out. Yeah.
This one's, it's kind of funny looking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a hairline. It's great.
Yeah. Some of the faces on these we were talking about that earlier before we started recording.
When you get into the other ones, the face is a little bit different, but the normal Weebles look normal.
Just because you know, I don't want to come back to this. These are terrifying.
Yeah.
And these are the original.
Those are like the prototypes.
Yeah, the original. What were they called? You said it earlier. Wherever they came from, the original thing before they actually became Weebles. The Romper Room.
Romper.
Yeah.
Romper Room.
These are terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just leave it.
Yeah, they're more sculpted than they are just round, egg shaped. So smooth. They don't have the image in the sticker form. It's just it's all sculpted in there. So yeah. So one of the hardest that you can find or you can't find is the Invisible Man. Not because he's invisible, but he was actually a mail-in. So it was a promotion for Scotch tape, for Invisible tape, because that was when it first came out. What was it? It was late 70s, 78, 79. So you bought the tape and you mailed in the proof of purchase. That's what you used to have to do, and they would send you a certain amount of proof of purchases, and they would send you a Weeble that's called Invisible Man, and it's pretty much a black Weeble, and it has a white top hat, white gloves, and white shoes or white feet on there, and you can't see anything in between. So it's an Invisible Man. That's what it's.
So I have one of these also, just showing it here.
Yeah.
This, when you said the Invisible Man, I thought it was going to be something like what Funko did with their Jan Brady and George Glass 2-pack, where you get a pop of Jan Brady, and then obviously George Glass was her imaginary friend in the Brady Bunch, and so there's actually nothing on the other side; it's just empty.
But you had to pay for the pop.
But you had to pay for a 2-piece. Like, this is
it's like Hot Wheels. Sounds like
the
Hot Wheels Invisible Jet, Wonder Woman
the Invisible Jet. There's nothing there.
Where it's just the blister pack is in the shape of a jet, but there's nothing inside the blister pack. Yeah,
but it costs more.
But it costs more, and people were paying money for that. I mean, I got mine for like $20 when it first was released, and it's going for a lot more now. So, so 1976, they brought out some vehicles called Weebles. There was a tow truck, a car, a school bus. These would actually, you would wind it up and it would actually move. And when it moved, the wheels were kind of oblong shaped, and it would kind of wobble back and forth when it rolled.
Yeah.
These also, when you got one, they also included a Weeble figure in with the vehicle, or the Weebicles. A couple of highlights, and we can look at some more stuff here in a minute. A couple of highlights I kind of wrote down. There was a good Weeble blimp, similar to the Goodyear blimp. So this one was for the tumbling Weebles. The nose, you can actually turn the nose of the blimp, and it changes. There was a message on each side, and as you changed it, it had 3 messages on each side. So one side would say "Fly me," and then it would say "Happy B-Day," and it says "Weebles love you," and then the other side would say "Blimp rides 5 cents," "Smile," and then "Weebles wobble." Now, this was the only vehicle that they produced for the tumbling Weebles. Another thing it can do is you can kind of set it down on top of your tumbling Weeble, and it kind of he pops up into the gondola, and then if you're flying it and you hit a little lever on the side, he falls out of the gondola. So there was a play set. There was one play set for the tumbling Weebles. It was called Tumbling Weebles Funhouse. It had an elevator, and in the chimney, you could put your tumbling Weeble in the chimney, and it kind of had a little slide in there, and it would go down. There was several ramps that kind of you would put your tumbling Weeble on it, and it would kind of tumble all the way down the ramp to the bottom of the fun house. But it was kind of funny to watch when you watch the video. I saw a lady on YouTube do the same thing with hers, but it didn't quite roll as smoothly as the commercial. So it was kind of funny. Another thing they had, another highlight was the haunted house. This one actually came with 3 Weebles with it. You had a scared boy and a scared girl, and then you had a glow-in-the-dark ghost. So this house, you open it up to see the inside. There was an attic, a study, a bedroom, a living room, and a library in there. This also came with a chest that when you open the top, you look inside, it's like molded and had little gold pieces in it. And then they had a bed came with it for the bedroom, a couch for the study, I think it was, and a chair as well the couch was in the living room and the chair was in the study. And this also had a chimney that had a slide in it. So if you put your Weeble in the chimney, it would kind of slide down into the attic. And then there was another slide from the attic to the study. and then when you get down to the bottom floor, it had the library with the bookshelf. Well, you could turn a little thing on the back of the house, and it would turn that bookshelf around to a funhouse mirror on there. There was also a couple more glow in the dark ghosts, but they were European exclusives, mostly from France and Germany, I think, is where these were sold at. And the European versions were actually licensed through Kenner. So Kenner did these instead of Hasbro. So the little pictures on the front of the ghost, the face and everything, and the hands and stuff were different from the Hasbro Play School version of it. So you could tell the difference between the European version, and they look more friendlier, whereas the North American one looked more like Casper the Ghost, kind of silly looking. I don't know. They had two different styles of faces, so you could tell the difference. There was also a Ghost van that came out. The Ghost was so popular that they brought out a van for this guy, and the van actually looks just like the ice cream truck. It's the same mold,
of course,
except it's different colors. It's purple instead of it's kind of a purple lavender color than a white, like the ice cream van is.
You said that's supposed to look like Casper?
Yeah, he kind of got that the way his eyes and his mouth. I mean, you've got one that's kind of
definitely faded on that picture.
I'm trying to move my head to make the glare on the picture go away because I can control that. That looks like Casper. That does not look like it doesn't look like it's supposed to look like Casper. That looks like Cat. Those eyes.
Yeah, the way the eyes are shaped.
That one's faded, obviously, but you know.
The Ghost van was also produced in other countries too. There was Argentina Ghost van. This was down in South America. It was produced by Top Toys, and the ghost for this was a more of a solid white than it was an opaque, because you can almost see the European versions and the North American version. You kind of almost see the light through them. They're kind of opaque. This was a little more solid white, but they all glowed in the dark. It was the only figure that was glow in the dark were these ghosts that they had. The cool thing about this van was you just couldn't open the back door. You had to open up the side window to lift up a little thing on the back to release the back door. So you couldn't open it unless it had that. So, you want to. That was just some highlights to that. We can go through some of these characters they have in the Weebles. Now they came out. The first Weebles that came out, you had a family. You had a mom and dad, a boy and a girl, and a baby and a dog. That was your family. And then, as they moved along, they came out with the sets. With the first one being the car and the camper set. So everything that these things sit in, the vehicles, the chairs, whatever, have a little divot in them where the bottom of the egg would just sit in there, and they can still kind of wobble around in the seats. So some of these, the first ones were all the peelable ones with the outside sticker decal, and
it looks like.
And then they later, when they made the unpeelable ones, there was the same figures, but then most of the majority after that were all the unpeelable ones. So
yeah, it looks like they changed from the peelable to the unpeelable around 74.
I think it was 74. Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing with all these.
I thought I saw one that was a little earlier than that, but 74 was the majority of them. So
having a toy for preschoolers or play school that peels like the sticker spill off doesn't sound like a great idea.
No, it's not really a sticker. It was more of a plastic, like
or a wrapping, shrink wrap, whatever. It's
wrap.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah. Like having something like that just doesn't sound like it's a great.
And when they redid them, and they were more solid, when they redid them to put a clear plastic on the outside and the decal on the inside, there's a screw that screws in from the bottom, and the top sits in and kind of holds everything together.
Yeah.
So the middle part, the upper part of that egg shape is hollow, except for the image that's in there. And then the bottom, there's either a lead or zinc type weight that they had in there. So
Probably not lead.
yeah, back then they had lead and everything back then. The dog, when they went to the unpeelable version, there was 3 different sizes, so they did have different sizes on these. If you want to, like I said, the Winnie the Pooh one was a Sears exclusive. Some of the Disney ones there was Pluto, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, and my thing is none of this. There's Goofy. None of these are in any kind of order. So
Yeah.
There was some Sesame Street ones. So you had Bert and Ernie and Cookie Monster and Grover. The Flintstones had Wilma and Fred and Barney. There was a.
Now, as we're talking about some of these you're naming off, now
Yeah.
they could have done better pictures, I think, on some of these. The best one I've seen is Oscar from Sesame Street in his can.
Yeah.
He actually looks right. And then you've got, like I was talking with that Tarzan one, he's got this little crunched up head and big old body, and it's just like.
Well, the image of the body goes all the way around the thing,
Yeah.
and then you have a little head right up front. Whereas some of them, it just has the image on the front of it, like Cookie Monster here. I'm looking at. It's just Cookie Monster on the front of the image instead of all the way around
What
the
was
image.
the other one? Donald Duck.
Yeah, Donald Duck was kind of weird looking. Wilma, we're talking about Wilma, where her whole image is wrapped around the egg shape. So that was kind of weird looking with just a face on the front of it. You have Raggedy Ann and Andy, and then their camel with the wrinkled knees is in there. Let's see. You have Nakima and Tarzan. Nakima's the chimpanzee monkey guy. There's Pebbles from the Flintstones. Fred Flintstone was also a tumbling Weeble as well. There's Pluto and Tigger. There's Ernie.
Tigger needed to bounce.
Yeah, he didn't bounce.
He should have bounced. They should have added something to make him bounce. And still not fall over.
Mickey. There's I'm trying to see if there's one more. Then they had your normal ones. You had your pirates, your Indian. There's an Indian. There's clowns. There's a scuba diver. There's Big Bird as well. There's a woman acrobat. Apparently her name is Gina. I guess she had a name. So there's different ones. Like I said, there was 116 of these things that were put out.
And they had a bad guy.
Yeah, they have Mr. Trouble, which was the villain.
Mr. Trouble, the villain.
Yeah. And then, so some of these accessories, some of the I'm off of it tonight. These
it's okay. I was off of it earlier.
The play sets. So let's see. Let me go back. This site that I'm looking at it's not very friendly, user friendly. So let's go. There's also a Mickey Mouse Club set. So it has Billy and Karen, which it has a little boy and a little girl, and their shirt says Billy and Karen, and they have the Mickey Mouse ears for the Mickey Mouse Club. They have the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is what they produced for those. See, Raggedy Ann and Andy Raggedy Ann and Andy actually came in a 3-pack. So
with, camel.
Yeah, you had the camel with them. let's see, Mickey Mouse Magic Kingdom playset, which looks like the castle, and then it comes with a lot of little accessories there. There's two different castles in two different colors. Looks like, or no, it's the same castle. It just folds out. It looks different.
That one's pretty cool. You got the slide that goes all the way down.
Yeah.
Then it's got
a lot of these have
the
slides in them. Yeah. You have the treasure island that came with the pirate, and it has a little ship and a little island that comes with it. You had this man/dad. He came with a marina set, which was a fishing boat, which is pretty cool. They had an airplane. Let's see, camp-about. There's let's see what this is. Oh, there's a camper, a truck with a camper on the back of it, and it has a little above the cab of the truck, has a little beds on it. It's got a little ladder that go up there, and you can see the sink and the stove and a little rug. It has a little rug in there. Looks like one of those little rugs that Andrew doesn't need to be playing with. For those who know that story.
That little rope rug.
Yeah, the rope rug.
If you don't know that story, maybe we'll talk about it someday.
Maybe so.
Maybe that'll be our 100th episode. We'll talk about ropes and rugs and how they, influenced our childhood.
Yeah. Bert and Ernie came with there was a Sesame Street playground. Has a little teeter totter and swings that they swing in. Let's see. You get the Flintstones. They came in a 3-pack. You had Fred, Wilma, and Pebbles. I thought there was another one, but there's not. Just those three. There was a circus that they came out with. It had a circus tent that opened up, and there was a trampoline. There was a cannon that you can shoot your Weeble out of. There was a trapeze, swinging trapeze. There was one that you set your clown Weeble on top of these stilted looking legs with big feet. So all kinds of clown circus type stuff. Let's see what else we got. There was Western with a horse and wagon. So, and you get that has the Western Dad is what he's called. Weeble. So, I mean, there's all different kinds. This is Weeble's Wobble Race set, where you have looks like a little track. You got four Wobble Weebles that come with. They all have a different color and they all have different numbers on them, and then they race down this track. I bet, and it looks like you kind of tilt it, and whoever wobbles down first wins. So. But yeah, there's all different kinds of things with these things, and different play sets.
Kid active for a while.
Yeah, it definitely keeps them active.
Which is exactly what the parents need on these. Are the school workers. I want to talk about the price of these things. I know John sent us. He chatted over a thing. What year was that from, John?
That was the 73 Sears catalog for the
camper.
Yeah, at $9.99.
$9.99 in 1973. Anybody want to guess how much that's worth? How much that equates to today?
24.
Michael.
$40.
$63.26.
Wow.
Let's go back to.
That one's got a decent little amount of stuff because you get the little still, the boat, the rowboat looking deal, the car, the camper, a motorcycle.
And there was another price. I think, Michael, didn't you say there was something, the two pack or something? What you say there was a price on something else you saw?
I've
Yeah,
got
I got.
a couple others, and then that website we were looking at has a lot of prices on it.
Yeah. One thing real quick on the tumbling Weebles. When you bought one of these, it come one per pack, but it came with a ramp slide thing where you can actually, when you have it in the pack, you can tilt it and it would wobble from
Down
side to side in the
side to
pack.
side on the pack.
And then you could take it out and do the same thing by holding the ramp and moving it back and down, up and down, and it would weeble from side to side. So
it would weeble from side to side.
Wobble. I told you I'm off of it today, man. My words are all.
It's all right.
Today.
I've also
Been
got
long.
the 74, the Campabout, which is the truck with the little boat. It comes with a motorcycle too.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was the cheapest price I saw. That set came in at $5.99.
And 74.
And then 74.
$34, $35.
So, but a lot of these average anywhere from that $9.99 to I think $14 is kind of where we saw a lot of them. Or where I was looking at it for the sets, for the play sets.
$14.99. Do you know what year?
Oh, that goes almost all the way through.
Okay, it makes a difference. Like in 74, $14.99 was $85.
Here's one that was pretty cool. It's the Weebles tub sub. If you would, when you raise the periscope up, it would float, and when you put the periscope down, it would actually dive underwater. It would suck in water to make it kind of heavier. It would look like it was diving. This has a price of $3.77 for that.
Wow.
What year?
1977. I'm sorry.
$17. That's not bad.
No, that's not too bad.
That's not too bad. I like the 377 more.
Yeah.
Right.
I wish I could get more toys for 377. I'd probably have way less space. So I know this is kind of an interesting toy for us to talk about because this is like preschool. And Hasbro with their preschool line has done a great job at helping all of us cope with being a toddler and not knowing what we're allowed to put in our mouth and what we're not. The Weebles were great because even if you couldn't swallow this, I think it's great. Awesome. I think they're cool. Especially for a toddler. It does bother me that Hasbro doesn't know how to spell preschool. Since school is not SKOOL. Just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's play school.
Play school, but still, that's not how you spell school.
It is in the Hasbro world.
I mean, we trust Hasbro to teach our children so much, but they can't spell school. So
Yeah.
just want to throw that out there. Come on, Hasbro. Let's do. I'm just kidding. Hasbro does a great job. These are not very collectible. I wouldn't say they're collectible. I'm sure somebody out there collects these.
There's people that do collect these. Yes.
Yeah. The old ones may be more collectible, like the original ones, but like Weebles themselves, not really something that a lot of people would collect. Like there's obviously people who collect the old ones, but I don't know. Kind of interesting. I didn't look any up on eBay, mostly because I forgot we were recording tonight and I was watching Mando Mando 2.5 and forgot. But I just don't see high prices for some of these. Maybe the Invisible Man, some of those probably.
Some of these harder to get ones are, I think, around $20 to $30 on some of these. Still
not ridiculously expensive. I do like the Invisible Man. Did you see that the Invisible Man glows in the dark?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it does. The white parts do.
Yeah.
Glow
I was looking at something else. Oh, in here, John.
Hat, gloves, and feet. So, All right.
I gotta find my window. I have this to show. Where did my window go? Come here. Here you go, John.
There we go.
Yeah,
There's a
see,
good shot of the ghost. That still
that's
looks
Casper.
like
It
Casper.
looks like Casper.
That's Casper without his body and
Right.
with some freaky
The face
puppet
is
gloves
Casper.
on. Those are puppet gloves that it has on, though. And we all know what puppet gloves.
That could have made his hands look a little more like hands. They're just kind of squiggly lines, or
Yeah,
one finger's like bent over.
yeah. They're still
backwards.
weird.
It's kind of weird.
They're puppet. There's those puppet gloves where you have to do 4 finger, or you have to do
And they're bigger than your hands, so they kind of flop around.
They flop around on it. Yeah,
That's what it looks like.
Let's look at this. Let's rate these real quick. Where do you think these things fall in your rankings, Michael?
Let's put them number 10 for me.
John?
Ooh. So you just push down Popples?
No, Popples is 10. It's gonna be under Popples, so I guess 11.
So 11.
I thought Popples was 9. I'm sorry.
Do you see the 10?
I can't unless I look at my screen a certain way. You need to make
well.
those numbers darker so we can see.
That's not.
I see them just fine.
I think you need to go have your eyes checked, Michael.
That's what happens.
They kind of fade out. It's just the way my screen is tilted. I'm gonna have
It's
to,
just what happened when you get old, Michael. We know.
that's what it is.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put them at 11.
That's exactly where they're going for me. So this is a bingo all the way around at 11. And it's funny because I think these are not as good as the Mego Dukes of Hazzard, but not as bad as the Mego Eagle Force.
These are definitely better than Star Wars. So.
No.
Yeah.
John, you can't say that because Star Wars is above yours.
Yeah, but yeah.
I like the Star Wars line. The dragon or the
I
dinosaurs.
thought they were pretty cool. I mean,
made
they
them
had
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
There was part of the Star Wars that just weren't there, and there's a couple of things that
if you're listening, you're wondering what we're talking about. This is because we do our rankings, and these are on our website, toyrewindpodcast.com, and head over to the toy rankings. You can see the current set of toy lines that we've talked about that we will be doing a toy bracket for once we get to 32 lines on this. You can also see the other rounds. My favorite being round 1, where I put Lego bricks right above Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles won that bracket. So best toy line ever. Best 2 toy lines ever right there.
Which two?
Lego and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're curious, that's what we're talking about. Check out our website, toyrewindpodcast.com. You can see where we rank all these. And you can see which one of the Newland brothers you would be more friends with based off the toy lines that they like or don't like. I think that's a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah, because we're all 3 of us have different rankings on everything.
Yeah, they're all a little different. They're all somewhat close, but
There's certain lines that are close, but most
they're all a little bit
there's
different.
differences. Yeah.
Anything else we want to talk about for Weebles? Like I said, this is kind of a small one, but it's a small little line. I mean, for preschool.
Yeah, I mean it's good for little kids. So we were little kids at one time. We had some of these.
Yeah, we did. We had some for our kids growing up. They had them. I remember them at the church. I remember them at preschool. Like they just.
Yeah, I think I remember more at the church than I do in our house.
Yeah. So, I mean,
yeah, I remember we all. I mean, I know for sure I had some. I know John and Andrew, you 2 had them. So
yeah. Now for our new segment, did Larry have it? What do you think, Michael? You think Larry had some of these?
he probably did.
John?
I don't know if he's got any now, but he did.
I don't think he has any now.
No,
John?
he doesn't have any now.
I'm going to say no. I don't think his parents got him into the.
So I messaged him about this before we did this, so I know that he says he did not. Actually, I'll read what he said exactly. we kind of went back and forth about some of the freaky, terrifying ones from the original line. Because he said, I've heard of them, but I don't think I ever really even, or he says, I've heard of them, but I don't think I've ever really even seen them before. They're pretty cool. And then we talked about the terrifying ones. And then he was like, yeah, those are terrifying. But yeah, so hopefully next week he's going to actually, or for the next podcast that we release, he's going to actually give us a voice chat or a voice video of, whether he had them or not. So
Voice video.
a voice video. Yes. It's going to be a little chat where he's going to be like, I had these or I didn't. So he didn't have these, or at least he didn't. Maybe he might have played with them. Maybe at school. Who knows? Like the rest of us, but he didn't actually have any at home, or obviously not in his collection now. I guess if there was a Batman one, I'd put it back there. I'd put it on my shelf.
Yeah, there's no Marvel superhero or DC.
I should just make
the closest one was the Wonder Boy, dude. It looked like Wonder Boy.
Yeah. I saw that when I was looking at stuff. You could just make these. I think it would be real easy.
Yeah, they had their own
you
superhero.
Just take the screw out and change the
change the thing out, and then you're good.
Yeah,
very easy to customize, I guess.
Yeah. We should make them for the three of us. All right. One more.
The brothers Newland wobbles. Weebles.
Yes,
wobbles.
The brothers Newland. We weeble. We do not wobble. We don't fall down. Yeah, that's weird. One more thing we want to ask. Yeah, we want to ask you if you're listening to this, if you've made it this far to this one. This is kind of a small one.
Ooh, this one's rough to make it through too. So
this is episode 77. We are quickly coming up on episode 100, and we are trying to decide what toy line to talk about for our 100th episode. So if you, one of our listeners, has an idea what you would like to hear us talk about on episode 100, that's a big one. Please message it to us, send it to us. There may be other stuff happening for episode 100 because that's a pretty big one. So we want it to be a great episode. So let us know what you think we'd like to talk about. If there's actually anything else you'd like to hear us talk about at any point, you should send us a message and let us know. We've got the next few. We have some guests coming up. And so it's going to be fun getting to episode 100, and we're within 25. So yeah, it's coming up a lot sooner than you kind of think. I know it's like 25 weeks, but still, that's like it's gonna be here.
It'll be pretty quick. It's already. Quick. I was looking at the calendar. It's already the end of a couple of days from March, and we're already 2 months into 2022.
Yeah, it's gonna
another birthday month for Michael.
Yeah,
a year older.
Actually, John, I know we're actually recording ahead of time. We should probably pay attention to what episode's going to drop around his birthday so we don't hit it way late.
Right?
We should pay more attention to that. All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you've made it this far, obviously, again, check out our websites, crossstreamsmedia.com and toyrewindpodcast.com. There's lots of stuff over on Toy Rewind that we don't do on Cross the Streams. So check out all that good stuff. Obviously follow our socials. That's where we're posting different things that we're doing. We're trying to get ramped back into doing our lives and doing our toy box showcases. And hopefully, so we'll be seeing those coming. While you're across the streams, be sure you check out some of our partner podcasts, including the Dorksman, the STS Guys, Secondary Heroes, 3 Beers on a Bike, the Movie Gap, the Dan Aykroyd podcast, the Burt Reynolds and Charles Bronson podcast, Front Row Negative, the Art of the Boar, Beering Ain't Easy, and Hot Tub.
Yeah.
Hot
Tub. Front Row Negative?
I said Front Row Negative. Hot Tub. What's the other one? It's a Hot Tub Beering Hot Tub?
Something like that.
Hot Tub, yeah. So be sure you check those out.
Hot Tub Beer Podcast.
Hot Tub Beer Podcast. That's what it is. It's a new one that we've got that just joined the network. Front Row Negative in the next shortly will be. I was on Front Row Negative. I know John's going to be coming up soon. So be sure you check those out. Fun episodes. We talked a lot about toys, and because I mean that's what we do. We talk about toys. That's what we talked about there. We had a lot of fun. I think I'm going to be on again at some point. We're going to talk hockey because we were going to talk hockey, and then we didn't even talk hockey. We just talked toys the whole time, and then we're like, oh, I'm going to have to be back on to talk hockey. So
you think they would talk NASCAR with me?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't think
So,
either one of them.
The hockey thing
Yeah.
started.
Baseball. I mean, baseball. I'll talk baseball
Yeah,
too.
the
Big
hockey
baseball.
thing started because when I got on, Aaron was wearing a Minnesota North Stars hat, and I was like, "Is that a Minnesota North Stars hat?" He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh no!" So I grabbed my Avalanche hat that's right here, and I put it on. I was like, "We might not get along," but it had to do with the hockey team that was in Houston, that was part of the Minnesota stuff. Had nothing to do with the North Stars or the Dallas Stars to be.
Yeah,
that.
the Dallas
It was-
Stars, when they came from Minnesota, they were
Yeah.
the North Stars at one
Yeah.
time, and
They were the North
franchise.
Stars, and they came down, and so yeah, I just don't like Minnesota. Not a big fan. It's Colorado or nothing. So, but it was a good episode. So I suggest everybody go listen to that when it drops at some
Sometime.
point. I don't know when it's going to drop. So I'm sure it'll be named Toy Rewind something like yours was, Michael. So who knows? I don't know. All right. Anything we want to add about Weebles before we sign off?
No, everybody knows they don't fall down.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Just like the Toy Rewind podcast, we continue to go and go and go and go. And then as soon as you think we're done, we're just going to keep going.
Even after this episode here, we're going to continue to go.
We're going to keep going. Yeah. But we're going to wrap this one because I think we should wrap this
we
one.
need to wrap this
Right.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening to episode 77. We talked about Weebles. And on behalf of the Brothers Newland here at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.